You are standing at a small station in Iowa in 1898, watching a westbound freight train slow to a stop. The conductor steps down with a leather satchel, walks to a wooden box mounted on the station wall and unlocks it with a key from his belt. Inside the box are written orders left for him by the dispatcher hours earlier, delivered to this remote station by a previous train and held here for his arrival. He reads them in the late afternoon light, signs the duplicate and walks back to his train. This is the story of how the telegraph became the nervous system of an American railroad that without it could not have existed. The telegraph and the American railroad grew up together. Samuel Morse demonstrated his system in 1844, the same decade in which the first long-distance rail lines were being built in the eastern United States. By the 1850s, telegraph wires were being strung alongside railroad tracks as a matter of standard practice, and the two technologies became, in operational terms, a single system. The railroad provided the right-of-way and the maintenance crews. The telegraph provided the dispatching, the train orders, and the coordination across distances that no other means could match. The system that emerged was called timetable and train order operation, and it was the foundation of American railroading from the 1860s through most of the 20th century. A printed timetable established the basic schedule of every train on the line. Written orders, transmitted by telegraph from the dispatcher to operators at stations along the route, modified that schedule as conditions required. A meet order specified where two trains running in opposite directions on a single track would pass. An overtake order specified where a faster train would pass a slower one. The operator at each station copied the orders, handed them to the engineer as the train passed, and the engineer carried them out. The system worked through a combination of redundancy and discipline. Every order was repeated back to the dispatcher to confirm accuracy. Every order was issued to both trains involved in any meet, so that neither could act unilaterally. Every operator was required to display a stop signal until orders were delivered. Records from the major railroads document training programs for operators that took months, with apprentices working under experienced telegraphers before being trusted with a station of their own. The telegraph dispatching system survived for more than a century, longer than the telegraph itself, remained important for any other commercial purpose. By the 1950s, most major railroads had supplemented telegraph dispatching with telephone dispatching, and by the 1970s, radio had begun to replace both. The wires that ran alongside the tracks were taken down, and the operators who had spent careers translating dots and dashes into written orders found themselves transferred to other duties or retired. The telegraph did not survive as a working part of the railroad, but it gave the industry, for the decades when it was needed, something without which the network could not have functioned. A way for a single mind in a central office to direct the movement of hundreds of trains across thousands of miles of track, in real time, on a continent that without that nervous system would have remained, operationally, a collection of disconnected segments.